Hello dear students, today we are going to study class 11th physics and the chapter number 14 I am going to start. The name of the chapter, as you can see, it is oscillations. But basically when we discuss among ourselves and with the students, generally this chapter refers to simple harmonic motion. Okay, simple harmonic motion. Simple harmonic motion. Okay, there's a bit difference between oscillations and simple harmonic motion. We'll discuss it later on. But what we are going to do today is, the first thing we are going to do is introduction to the chapter. What we are going to study in this chapter. Second thing, we are going to study about motion, and in this chapter basically we are going to discuss periodic motion and non-periodic motion, right? Periodic motion and non-periodic motion. Then after we are going to discuss harmonic motion, and then after finally we will come to simple harmonic motion. Okay, so these all things we are going to do today. The very first thing is introduction. Let us introduce ourselves to this chapter. Let this chapter be introduced towards to us. Okay, so let us start. Students, you must have studied about rest and motion, but for the sake of just reminder, or you can say revision, let me tell you what is that motion and what is rest. Okay, you must have studied rest means if a body is not changing its position with respect to its surrounding. Okay, if a body does not change its position with respect to its surrounding with some passage of time, then it will be said to be at rest. In the same way, motion is defined as motion. If a body changes its position with respect to its surrounding, then the body is said to be in motion. But here, the surrounding is taken as the reference. If reference is changed, then maybe the same body which earlier it was in motion, it becomes at rest. For example, if you are the universal example, if while sitting in a bus, if bus is moving, then with respect to co-passenger you are at rest, but with respect to the objects outside the bus you are in motion. Okay, so rest and motion, they depends upon the frame of reference in which of what frame you are looking at. Now if we talk about the motion on the basis of path, okay, what type of path the body is covering, motion is divided into four categories. One is rectilinear motion, in which body travels on a straight path. It may be on curvilinear motion. So according to some teachers, according to some books, the rectilinear motion and the curvilinear motion is not two different things. But in the lower stage, in class 9th, we study that rectilinear motion means body travels on a straight line and curvilinear motion means body travels on a curved path. But here the thing is, if suppose this is the curved path and we take a very small element of this curved path, then that small element can be considered as a straight line. So basically curvilinear motion is nothing, it is actually combination of so many rectilinear motions. If we take a small linear path, a small element, if we take a small element, if we take a small element, we can take so many small elements on this and all those elements will be in a straight line. So basically curvilinear motion is nothing, it is combination of rectilinear motion only. Okay, the second motion is circular motion. If a body travels on a circular path, then its motion is said to be circular. Third one is rotational motion. You must have studied in chapter number 7. The whole chapter was about rotational motion. If a body rotates about a particular axis, then it is said to be rotational motion. Body rotates plus translates. So it will be combination of rotational and translation motion. It was the rolling motion you must have studied. And the last one is vibrational motion. Vibrational motion. In your previous chapters, you have studied about rectilinear motion, motion in a straight line, motion in a plane. You have studied in circular motion. It was in chapter number 4, motion in a plane. You have studied about rotational motion. It was there in the chapter number 7, system of particles and rotational motion. And vibrational motion, we are going to study in this chapter. So basically, this chapter is all about vibrational motion. What is vibrational motion? Vibrational motion means if a body moves to and fro from a mean point, about a mean point. This is your mean point. Mean point. If a body moves to and fro about this, back and forth about this, if it goes first toward this side, then it comes back, goes this side, then again it comes back to this point. So this kind of motion is called vibrational motion. Okay. A very familiar example is swing. You must have enjoyed swings. I mean to say jhula. The students, the children used to play with that. So the motion of that is basically what? Vibrational motion. Okay. Phone, we keep on vibrating mode. So basically phone, the motion of phone is also a vibrational one. Okay. So these are some examples of vibrational motion. In this chapter, we are going to study some more examples. Okay. One more example, very familiar. You must have studied in lower classes about simple pendulum. If a simple pendulum is like this, if it displays, then what will happen? It will go that side, then it will come back this side. It will keep on doing that. Okay. So this kind of motion is called vibrational motion when the body is moving back and forth or to and fro about a mean position. Okay. So this is all about the introduction. Basically, this chapter is all about vibrational motion. Earlier, these type of motions you have studied earlier also. Okay. So these are not going to be discussed. We are going to discuss vibrational motion in this chapter. Okay. Now let us study about the classification of motion on the basis of time period or the period or time if they are repeating themselves or not. Okay. After a particular time. So let us divide the motion according to that. On the basis of that criteria, if the motion is being repeated or not, the motion is divided into two categories. One is periodic motion, and the second one is non-periodic motion. Periodic motion and non-periodic motion. What is periodic motion? Periodic motion means if a body repeats its path, repeats its motion after a fixed time interval. The time interval should not be changed. Okay. If a body repeats its motion after a fixed time period, then its motion is said to be periodic motion. There are so many examples. Okay. Like motion of earth. After every 365 days, the earth repeats its path around the sun. So it's a revolution of earth around sun. It is kind of periodic motion. The periodic motion, the motion of moon around earth, the revolution of moon around earth. It is also a periodic motion. The motion of needles in a clock, in a watch, is also a periodic motion. Okay. So there are so many examples. These are the natural examples which are present around us, and they are the example of periodic motion. So periodic motion is something in this. What happens? The body repeats its motion after a fixed time interval. Non-periodic motion, either the body is not repeating its path, or if it is repeating, but it is not repeating on a fixed time interval. Like if you people come to school, if you come to school daily, then it's your motion. If you come to school daily with the same path, with the same road, okay, then your motion is said to be periodic. But if you are not coming to school daily, then your motion should be non-periodic motion. Okay. So periodic motion, what happens? In the periodic motion, particle repeats its path after a fixed time interval. Now just see, if a body is moving on a circular path, okay, with uniform speed v, I'm telling v is speed, not velocity, because you must be knowing that on a circular path what happens? the velocity keeps on changing because the direction of motion keeps on changing, but if it is uniform, then speed can be constant also. So if a body is moving with uniform speed, then its motion is said to be periodic. But suppose if this speed is increasing or decreasing, then its motion should be non-periodic. Okay. Out of that periodic motion, there is a subcategory which is called oscillatory motion. Oscillatory motion, which in another word called harmonic motion. What is that? There is a subcategory of periodic motion. What is oscillatory motion or periodic harmonic motion? Or in other words, the same thing is called vibrational motion. What is that? So if a body is moving to and fro about a mean point, this is a mean point. If a body is going this side, then it is coming back this side, then again it goes to the mean position. If it goes like this, okay, first it goes here, then second it comes here, then after third it comes over here. So then its motion is said to be what? Oscillatory motion, harmonic motion, or vibrational motion. Okay, each harmonic motion or oscillatory motion can be an example of periodic motion, but every periodic motion is not necessarily to be harmonic or oscillatory motion. Example is here only. This body, which is moving on a circular path with constant speed, its motion is periodic, but it is not oscillatory. Okay, and here, if this is completing its one oscillation after a fixed time interval, then its motion is oscillatory also, and its motion is periodic also. Okay, so every oscillatory motion or harmonic motion can be an example of periodic motion, but all periodic motions are not harmonic motion. Actually, periodic motion is a big, you can say, set, and oscillatory motion and harmonic motion, they are subset of this. In the language of mathematics, I am telling you. Okay, so this is what about oscillatory motion or harmonic motion is there. Now let me tell you from where this word harmonic come here. Harmonic means what? If you go into some mathematics, so any function which can be represented in terms of sine or cos, okay, any function which can be represented in terms of sine or cos, that function is said to be harmonics. Actually, this curve, the sine theta curve, you must be knowing. This is a sine theta curve. And what is cos theta curve? Cos theta curve is like this. So this curve is what harmonic is called. This curve is harmonic. So sine theta is represented by this curve, cos theta is represented by this curve. So if a body is moving in such a way that its motion can be represented by these curves, then its motion is said to be what? Oscillatory or harmonic motion. Okay, so let us go into a bit of that and let us try to find out if it is sine theta, then what should be the period? If it is periodic, then what should be its period? So let us try to understand some periodic functions and let us try to find out what is the period of those functions. Okay students, let us analyze what is periodic functions and harmonic functions. Periodic functions. Periodic functions are those functions which repeats itself after a fixed time interval. Like for example, if in a function of x, if I write sine x, so basically it is going to be a periodic function because sine repeats itself after every 2 pi. The value of x after 2 pi, it repeats itself. If I write fx is equal to tan x, then also it is a periodic function because after every 2 pi angle, they repeats themselves. I hope you must be knowing that. If this is quadrant, so this is your angle 0, this is your angle pi by 2, this is your pi, this is 3 pi by 2, and this is again 2 pi. So after 2 pi, the again it starts from 0 only. Okay, so if the angles are being repeated, then after obviously the values are going to be repeated. But if I write fx is equal to sine cube x, then also it is a periodic one. It is periodic function because the sine x and the sine cube x, If sin x is being repeated, then sin cube x is also being repeated. If I write fx is equal to cos square x, it is a periodic function. Okay? If it is cos square x, then also it is a periodic one. But if I write fx is equal to e to the power x, or fx is equal to log x, or fx is equal to 3x square plus 2x plus 1. So all these functions are not periodic because these values are not going to be repeated after some value. Okay, but these after 2 pi, value of x as 2 pi, they repeat themselves. So these all functions are periodic. But what is harmonic functions? If I ask about what is harmonic function? Harmonic functions. So harmonic functions are simply they are single sine functions or cosine functions. Means cos functions basically. Cosine is the full form of cos. Cosine functions. Single power of sine, single power of cos. They are called harmonic functions. Reason I have told you earlier also, because of their curve. The sine theta curve is like this and the cos theta curve is like this. Okay, if I talk about their period, let me make cos theta curve this side. Let me make both the curves that side. If we talk about sine theta or sine x curve, so on this let us have sine x here, let the value of x be there, and here x, and in this axis I am going to take cos x. So the value of sine theta is, sine curve is like this. This is your angle 0. This angle is what? Here the value of x is pi by 2. Here it is pi. Here it is what? 3 pi by 2, and here it is 2 pi. In the same manner, angles will go ahead. Okay, in the same manner. And what is the value of here? If x is equal to pi by 2, the value of sin x is 1. If the x is 3 pi by 2, the value of x is, value of sin x is minus 1. Okay, for the cos x, the graph is like this. So this is 0 obviously. This is pi by 2. This is 3 pi by 2. Sorry, this is pi. This is going to be 3 pi by 2. And this is what? It is 2 pi. So this is going to be 1 and this is going to be minus 1. Okay, after 2 pi, the same graph is going to be repeated. This much graph is again going to be repeated. Is it clear? Okay, so basically x here, this x is angle. Here that x is what? Angle, because it is written with sine. But when we talk about functions, when we talk about motion, not function, when we talk about motion, then we must have something which is related to the time. Then we must have something which is related to the time. So here I am going to use a definition you must have studied of omega. Omega is equal to what? Theta upon t. So from here if we calculate the value of theta, it is going to be what? Omega t. Okay. So basically when we write a function of time like ft is equal to some constant, say a, sine omega t. In place of omega t we can write theta also. Theta can be replaced by omega t, or ft is equal to what? A cos omega t. Okay. So if in this manner some functions are being represented, here that t is time. So after a particular time period, the function is going to repeat itself. Okay. Now we are going to discuss what is that time period. This function is harmonic because it is single power of sine, it is single power of cosine, means cos. So basically these functions are periodic. If they are periodic, then what should be their time period? So we know that if this omega t is equal to 2 pi, then after it is going to repeat itself. So okay, so for the first function, if we calculate the time period, then time period must be equal to what? If omega t is equal to 2 pi, then it is going to repeat itself. So what is the value of t from here? It is 2 pi by omega. So this is going to be the time period of the first function. This is going to be the time period of first function. In the same manner, in the second function we are going to talk about. So here also omega t is equal to what? 2 pi. So t is going to be what? 2 pi by omega. So this is going to be the time period of the second function. Okay. Now in place of sine omega t and cos omega t, if something else is written, like suppose we have been given a function y is equal to capital A sine 4 pi t, and we have been asked what is the time period of this function. So what we are going to do, simply this 4 pi t, this 4 pi t equal to 2 pi. So pi and pi will be cancelled out and t is equal to 2 upon 4 or t is equal to 1 by 2 seconds we are going to have. This simple method of calculating time period. Whatever the function of sine we are going to have, just equate that thing with 2 pi, because sine repeats itself after 2 pi. So whatever we are going to have with sine or cos, just equate them with equal to 2 pi and then solve it for t. Whatever the value of t you are going to have, that value of t is going to be the time period. Again, let us take one more example. If it is written y is equal to capital A, or let us have some value over here, say root 2 sine 4 omega t. If someone asks what is the value of time period from here, so 4 omega t is going to be what? 2 pi. So t is going to be 2 pi by 4 omega. What you are going to have from here? 2 and 4 will be cancelled out. We are going to have pi by 2 omega. So pi by 2 omega is going to be the time period of this function. I hope it is clear. This is very easy also. It is not very difficult. So if function is being given and time period is being asked, I hope you are able to calculate. Sometimes the questions are a bit different. Let us take those questions. Now suppose one question is being given, y is equal to a sine omega t plus b cos omega t, and it is being asked what is the time period of this function if it is periodic. Obviously it is periodic because sine, single function of sine, it is a periodic function. Single function of cos, it is single power of cos, it is also a periodic function. The sum of two periodic functions is going to be periodic only. Okay, so if we take as this one as a separate function, then time period of this function is going to be, I hope you are able to understand, 2 pi by omega. And if we take separate function of that one, b cos omega t, the time period of that function is what? 2 pi by omega. So both the functions are repeating themselves after a particular time period, and the time period is what? 2 pi by omega. So basically sum of those also going to repeat itself after 2 pi by omega. So basically the time period of these two functions are function of y, it is going to be what? 2 pi by omega. Sometime it is being different, like a question is like y is equal to a sine omega t plus b cos 4 omega t plus c sine 8 omega t. Okay, this is a question. We have been asked what is the time period of this function if it is periodic. So we can see it is a periodic function. The second one is also a periodic one. Third one is also a periodic one. Sum of all these periodic functions, we are going to have periodic function only. So basically if we take this one as periodic function, y1 is equal to a sine omega t. So time period of this function is going to be what? 2 pi by omega. I hope you are able to understand. Omega t is equal to 2 pi, t is equal to what? 2 pi by omega. Same manner, if we take that as a function, b cos 4 omega t. Okay, from here the time period is going to be now 2 pi divided by 4 omega, which can be solved as pi by 2 omega. And then after if we take third one, so y3 is equal to c sine 8 omega t. From here the time period was going to be 8 omega t upon 8 omega, time period is going to be what, 2 pi upon 8 omega, or we can write pi upon 4 omega. The first function repeats itself after 2 pi by omega, the second function repeats itself after pi by 2 omega, third function repeats itself after pi by 4 omega. If 2 pi by omega is written as t1, so pi by 2 omega can be written as t1 by 4. You can understand, you can compare this. Just see 2 pi by omega, 2 pi by 4 omega. 2 pi by omega can be written as t1, so it is basically what, t1 by 4. And this one can be written as t1 by 8. So this function repeats itself after t1, this function repeats itself after t1 by 4, and this function repeats itself after t1 by 8. So at what time they start again? Suppose if t is equal to 0, they start. After what time again they start together? This function will start after t1, this function will start t1 by 4. So when this start, this is not going to start because its function is still there, its value is still there, and it's t1 by 8, it is also remaining. So basically what is happening, suppose I am taking this t1 as hypothetically it is 10 seconds. Okay, not 10 seconds, let us take it 16 seconds, suppose. So t1 by 4 is going to be what? 4 seconds. This is going to be what? 2 seconds. I am making it very simple for you. You must have studied in class, lower classes, least common multiple, that is your LCM. You must have solved those kind of questions that 3 bells are there, one bell is ringing at the interval of 12 seconds, other bell is ringing at the interval of 8 seconds, third bell is ringing after interval of 6 seconds. Then if they rang together, then after what time they will ring together. So in those questions you were solving for least common multiples. Here also, if it is 16, if it is 4, it is 2. So what you have to understand, you have to calculate least common multiple of these, LCM of these. 2, 4, 16, obviously the LCM is going to be 16. So if they start together, t is equal to 0, then after 16 seconds, they start together. And when t is equal to 16 seconds, while that time this function was repeated 8 times, this function was repeated 4 times, and this function is being repeated for 1 time only. It will start for the second time only. Is it clear? Since it is t1 by 8, so while the time it completes its one cycle, it completes its one motion, one, you can say, complete range of values, then in that time it will complete 8 times and it will complete 4 times. Is it clear? So all the time period of these 3 functions is basically y is going to be what? T1. The answer is 2 pi by omega. So this is all about your periodic functions. Okay, you need to understand sometime the functions are not that periodic. If they are not, so no need to calculate their periods. Like if it is written y is equal to log x, it is not periodic at all. So no need to calculate its period. Is it clear? Now let us move into the main content of this chapter, that is a simple harmonic motion. Now let us start the main content of this chapter, which is simple harmonic motion. Simple harmonic motion. Before starting this one, you must understand a very important term which is called restoring force. For that you need to understand what is stable equilibrium and what is unstable equilibrium. So let us try to understand. I hope you must be knowing that stable equilibrium means what? If the body equilibrium is what? When the body is at rest or body is in uniform motion, but the net force acting on the body must be equal to what? 0. And if you talk about rotational equilibrium, the net torque also can be equal to, must be equal to what? 0. So basically there are 2 types of equilibriums. One is stable, one is unstable. So if we talk about stable equilibrium, suppose we have a curved shape like this, and this curved shape, we have two small balls. One is here, okay, and one is here. They both are at rest. Okay, they both are at rest. Say this is your ball 1, this is your ball 2. They both are at rest, so basically they are in equilibrium. But if you disturb this ball, slightly move this ball toward this side or toward this side, then you can imagine what will happen. Obviously the ball will go down the slope. But if we disturb this ball slightly this side or slightly this side, then what will happen? It will come back to its position of equilibrium. Here the body will leave its position of equilibrium after being disturbed, after being moved slightly. But here in this case, the ball will come back to its position of equilibrium. So this equilibrium is said to be stable, and this is said to be unstable. Okay, for stable equilibrium, when you slide this ball toward this side, what will happen? It will experience a force towards its mean position. So this force is called restoring force. Restoring force. What restoring force does? In case of stable equilibrium, what restoring force does? Restoring force makes the body come back to its position of equilibrium. Always restoring force always acts towards the position of equilibrium. Position of equilibrium, not mean position. I am not telling mean position. Position of what? Equilibrium. Just mark this point. Is it clear? So I hope you are able to understand what is restoring force. Restoring force drags the object towards position of equilibrium, and it is happening in the case of stable equilibrium. Okay, so this is about the stable equilibrium and unstable equilibrium. Now let us talk about simple harmonic motion. What is a simple harmonic motion? Just see. Simple harmonic motion, there are some conditions. The first condition, the body should be in stable equilibrium. Stable equilibrium. Body must be in stable equilibrium. And second thing, body should be in stable equilibrium. It simply means that the simple harmonic motion only exists when the body is in stable equilibrium. If it is an unstable equilibrium, whenever a slightly disturbing force will act on it, the body will leave its position of equilibrium and the no motion can be, means simple harmonic motion is not happening over there. So this is the main condition of this one. The body should be in stable equilibrium. And when the body is said to be in SHM, so if a body moves to and fro about a mean position, okay, this is not completed at what is to and fro. Suppose if we take out the example of a pendulum, so the pendulum will move this side, then after this side, and come back to its mean position. So it is happening with motion of pendulum. So if the body is moving, this bob, this is called bob, it is moving about its mean position to and fro. Okay. The next thing is under the influence of a restoring force, which is directly proportional to displacement displacement from the mean position, from the mean position, mean position. Okay, simply means that if this bob is not here, it is somewhere here. So basically its displacement is going to be calculated from mean, and it is going to be x. The force which acts on it, it is restoring force. The force is always towards the mean position, and the displacement is away from the mean position. The displacement is away from the mean position and force is towards the mean position. This is the force, and this is what displacement. So force is proportional to displacement, but since force is towards the mean position and displacement is away from the mean position, therefore one minus sign is there. Okay, for the force I have to write over here. So from the mean position, and the direction of force, the direction of force is always towards the mean position. Then such motion is called SHM. Okay, such motion is called SHM. So basically, if a body is moving to and fro about a mean position, just take the example of this simple pendulum. It is moving to and fro about this mean position, okay, and it is moving under the influence of a restoring force which is directly proportional to the displacement from the mean position. Means whenever you are going to calculate displacement, the direction of the displacement is always away from the mean position. And the force, direction of force is what? Direction of force is always towards the mean position. So basically the direction of force and the direction of displacement, they are basically in opposite direction. So here the F is proportional to minus x, or F is equal to what? Minus kx. So this is the condition for SHM. Okay, F is restoring force, minus sign is there because F is opposite to x. K is called force constant. K is called force constant. Okay, K is called force constant. Is it clear? So from this, if we go a bit ahead of this, so what we are going to have, just see, I have told you that F must be proportional to what? Minus x, or F is equal to minus kx, where K is called force constant. We must know that F is equal to what? Ma, which is equal to kx. From here that A is equal to what? Minus k by m into x, or A can be written as minus omega square x, where omega square is equal to what? K by m. Is it clear? From where it has come, we'll discuss it later on. But this is also an equation, which represents SHM. From here it can be seen that A is also inversely proportional, A is proportional to minus x. A is also proportional to minus x. So this is about your SHM. This is the basic definition of simple harmonic motion. If you go a bit deeper, if you pick some standard books, in those books it has been written F is proportional to minus x to the power n, where this bracket should be here, where n should be odd numbers. Odd number. This all going to be represent a harmonic motion. All going to represent a harmonic motion. But if n is equal to 1, if n is equal to what? 1, the motion is said to be what? Simple harmonic motion. Okay, the motion is said to be simple harmonic motion. So this is the basic definition of simple harmonic motion. Okay, in the next video lecture we'll discuss more about this. So till that point of time, you study till here, and then after we'll move to next topic and we'll go a bit deeper into this. Okay. So this is all for the day. Thank you.